Sup, this is Alex Chu coming at you. It's another episode. This episode, I want to talk about. I basically want to talk about what sex dolls to buy. Okay, if you are like a first-time buyer of sex dolls, or if you only bought like once or twice. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my experience of what kind of sex dolls to buy. Okay, how to save money, how to avoid scams. Okay, I bought many sex dolls before. I bought like 7 or 8 sex dolls. My first sex doll was the Real Doll. The realdoll.com. It's a silicone doll. It's not TP doll. Silicone doll. I got that. I bought a whole bunch of different sex dolls before. So I want to talk about it. I want to help you save money. Help you avoid trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna give you like 7 or 8 points of what kind of sex doll to buy. But anyway, before I talk about that, I want to tell you my name's Alex Chu. I'm the guy who invented physical mortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small fingers, during sleep. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 51. All right, see, I still look pretty young, right? My waist is pretty slim, right? See, I never work out. If you go to my website, livemuchlonger.com, I have lots of testimonials from my website. Okay, I mean from Amazon customers. Most of them give me 4-star, 5 stars. So if you're interested, you want to look like me when you're 51, livemuchlonger.com, livemuchlonger.com. Link is at the bottom of this video. Okay, so I'm gonna go down a list. Okay, I made a list of what kind of sex dolls that you should buy. Okay, first one is you definitely have to buy the ones that are made in China. It's TPE. It's thermoplastic, whatever. It's TPE doll. It's like made of rubber, right? You don't want to buy the ones that are made in the United States. The silicone doll. Trust me, don't buy that. Okay. My first doll was a silicone doll. Okay. The ones that are made. You see, the sex dolls were invented by that guy Matt. I forgot what his last name is, but he was based in Los Angeles, right? Yeah, it was invented by the Americans. But one thing bad about silicone is very rigid. And the breast, when you feel it, it's solid. It's like hard. It's like really hard. The breast is really hard, and you cannot make it very soft. Silicone is not soft. Silicone is extremely rigid. And one thing bad about silicone is if you fuck it, right? If you the vagina, it breaks up. The vagina would tear up. So if you have sex with your doll, and you have to repair the tear. Like the tear start to the tear will form at the vagina. It's like you have sex with it like 6 or 7 times, then you can see the tear. Then you have to glue it back. You have to glue it back again. And there's tear all over the place. There's tear at the armpit, at the elbow area, at the knee area. It's a silicone doll. You have to constantly glue the thing back, And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, And also, silicone dolls are so expensive. If you buy dolls from the United States, it's like $4,000 or something. Really expensive. Not worth it, So always buy the dolls from China, Chinese dolls, TP dolls, right? They sell on eBay for like $400 or $500, right? Buy those, And one thing good about Chinese dolls is all the Chinese dolls, they have the same neck bolt, Every manufacturer in China that manufacture these TP dolls, they have the same neck bolt. I believe the neck bolt was like 13 millimeters or something. I forgot, but it was the same size. It was the same neck bolt for every Chinese doll manufacturer, which means if you buy one doll, right? If you buy a doll from China, right? You can go online and look at I don't know, go to Chinese websites or eBay or Amazon, and you can find a replacement head. Okay, any head that's made in China can be fit on your doll, guaranteed. So that's one thing good about buying Chinese dolls, that they don't have copyright issues in China. They don't have like patent right in China. So every manufacturer uses the same neck bolt, So if you buy one doll from one manufacturer, you could use the heads of other manufacturers, as long as it's from China, That's another reason why I tell people to buy TPE dolls from China. One thing good about TPE is it's rubber. It's really really soft. So a lot of dolls made in China, they have like jelly breasts. They have like hollow breasts. The breast is hollow. So when you feel the breast, it's almost like real women's breasts. They cannot do that with silicone, right? They cannot, because silicone is really rigid. If you make a hollow silicone breast, trust me, it'll break. It will break. So, and also dolls from China are really cheap. They're like $400-$500, right? So okay, and also they don't really they are a lot more heavy duty. They don't tear up very easily. But one thing about the Chinese TP doll is this. Okay, you cannot let the doll like sit there too long. After you finish using it, you have to bend the doll's legs and hands back to position, and then like she's lying inside a coffin like that, right? But even if you do that, the tear will start to form if you don't use it too much. You understand? You have to use it. You have to move it once in a while. If you don't if you don't use it at all, you let the doll sit there for like 2-3 months. Oh, you will see the tear. So basically, you have to use it. You have to constantly use it. If you move the rubber around, right, the tear. Trust me, there's no more tear. If you use it every day, or if you use it like at least once every 3 days, then there won't be any tear. Just like you're driving a car, you have to drive your car very often, or else the tires, if you just let the car sit there for like 6 months, you don't move the car at all. Oh, you can see the crack. Your tires start to crack. All rubbers are like that. So the doll's the same thing. You have to move the doll at least like once every 3-4 days. Once every 3-4 days, you have to move the doll around, so the rubber will not tear up. But as long as you move the doll around, the rubber shouldn't tear. And then after you finish using it, you always bend it back to like she's lying inside a coffin, like coffin position. Okay, let's talk about the price. Second point is the price. The price, I would say as cheap as possible. Buy the cheapest doll. Go to eBay. eBay is great. eBay, you can see these dolls. They sell it for like $370 and up. 300 some dollar dolls. So those are great. Okay. Um, do not. I know a lot of places, a lot of other people. They make videos. They talking about, oh yeah, doll forum, right? Dollforum.com. It's like they try to sell you expensive dolls. Those are scam. Don't believe in it. Don't believe. Buy the cheapest dolls. Okay, buy the ones from eBay. They're pretty much the same, honestly speaking. I bought so many dolls. I don't see that much difference. You buy the cheapest ones from eBay. The ones that are on eBay, they're like $400. Those are very basic ones. The breast is probably solid. It's solid rubber, so it's not hollow. It doesn't have jelly inside, so it doesn't feel good. Um, and also, it doesn't have heating system. There's no internal heating. But what you can do is this: you go to eBay, right? You see a cheap doll. Somebody's trying to sell a doll for like $400 on eBay, right? You could always contact the seller. You could say, I want this doll custom made. I want you to contact the factory in China, because all these dolls, all the TPE dolls are made in China, right? So the doll must come from China. You contact the seller. You say, I want you to custom make this doll. Okay, I want you to give this doll a hollow breast. Okay, and also internal heating coils. So I don't have to have sex with a ice cold doll. I could have sex with a warm doll, right? And then the guy would probably email you back and say, then it's going to cost you $400 extra. You know what? It's worth it. Because if they're selling a basic doll on eBay for $400, and then if you say, I want a hollow breast and I also want heating system, so I can have sex with a warm doll, and then they charge you $400 more, that's worth it. It's only $800, right? Total is $800. Then you should just order it, and it'll come to you from China. It'll be shipped to you from China within 20 days. You should just order it, because $800, that's still very cheap. So do not be scammed by other websites that try to sell you $1,300 doll, and then it doesn't even have like at least heating features. It doesn't even heat up. That kind of sucks. You don't need to buy brand name dolls, because in China, okay, here's the thing. In China, the Chinese manufacturers, they remember, there's no patents. There are no patent issues in China. There are no copyrights in China. Okay, so the doll manufacturers, they copy each other. You understand? The doll manufacturers, when somebody come up with a doll, what other manufacturers do, they buy your doll, and then they form a mold, right, from your doll, and then they start to produce their own doll using your body, using your face, using your body. So manufacturers in China, they steal from each other, and then nobody can do anything about it. You understand? Because the Chinese, they don't respect copyrights, or they don't respect patents. So all manufacturers in China, they steal from each other, and so basically you buy. It's almost all the same. You can buy from any manufacturer. All the dolls are pretty much the same. So keep the price down. I suggest you buy from eBay. Okay. Number 3 is height. Okay. Based on my experience, the doll cannot be too little. If the doll is 140 centimeter, that is too short. That's like what, 140 centimeter. That's not even 5 feet tall. That's like almost 5 feet tall. That is too short. I'm 5'8", right? When you're especially missionary position, you know, I mean, you cannot even bend down to kiss her. What the fuck, man? If you try to bend down to kiss her, her head is like right here. Her head is like under your chin. That kind of sucks. And 140 meter, that's 140 centimeter. That is too short. Any doll that's like under 5 feet tall, under 5 feet, that's too short. Trust me, it's not fun when you're trying to, especially during missionary. Let's say you're lying in bed with your doll, right? You're just basically having sex with her missionary, right? Her head is right here. Her head is right here. You cannot even kiss her in the lips. That's stupid. I suggest you buy the doll at least 158 centimeters. Okay, 158 centimeters. That's like, how tall is that? That's like 5 feet 2 inches. 5 feet 2 inches. That is perfect. 158 centimeters. That's perfect. If you go to eBay, right? Most of them sell that. Most of them sell the doll at 158 centimeters. Trust me. On eBay, the average height of a doll is 158 centimeters. It's perfect. You should buy a doll that's around 158 centimeters. You should not buy a doll that's too tall. Okay, do not buy the ones that are tall. Like 160 centimeters. That is too tall. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Point number 4 is weight. Trust me, never buy a doll that's too big. Do not buy the ones that are 160 centimeter, 163 centimeter. Never ever do it, because, hey, they're very, very heavy. You understand? If you buy a doll that's 163 centimeter, you wasted your money. I bought a doll that's, back in the days, I didn't know, right? I didn't know, I love tall girls, so I bought a tall doll, right? The doll is like 163 centimeter. Holy shit. When that doll weighs like 110 pounds, man. It weighs like 40 kilograms. 110 pounds, man. I cannot even move that shit. It's so heavy. It is so heavy. I cannot even move it upstairs. You understand? It is too heavy, dude. It's really, imagine you try to. So basically, it's like it just lie on my bed. It just lie on the floor. I don't even dare to put it on my bed because it's so heavy. It would crush my spring, right? It would my spring mattress. I don't even dare to put it on my bed. So I put it on the floor. But I couldn't even move that shit, man. It's so heavy. I mean, try to move it into another position, right? Try to, you know, you flip it around and try to make her do doggy style. Oh my god, it was. Oh, it's you're talking about a full physical workout, man. It's too heavy. Never buy any tall dolls, okay? When you see tall dolls where doll is huge boobs, oh my god, avoid those, okay? Trust me. Trust me, if you buy those, you will regret it. always, just like what I say, buy the dolls that are smaller, 158 centimeter, and always, hey, you know what, keep the weights at 75 pounds, 75 pounds, 75 pounds and under, okay? So I remember my first doll is silicone doll from, realdoll.com, right? That one weighs around exactly 75 pounds, and that was easy to handle. That 75 pounds is okay. I could just carry the doll and walk downstairs. I carry the doll and walk upstairs. Put it on my bed, take off my bed, no problem. 75 pounds. 75 pounds. It was like 34 kilograms or something. Yeah, and all the dolls on eBay, if they're like 158 centimeters, that's around 75 pounds. Yeah. So make sure never ever buy heavy dolls. Okay. Or doll with huge breasts, avoid those, man. Because even if you like huge breasts, you have to consider the weight. You have to consider the weight. Uh, Also, okay, the breasts, right? Make sure if you buy a doll, okay, if you go to eBay, you see a doll that you like, you always email the seller. Ask them, is what's the breast? I mean, how did you make the breast? Is it jelly breast, or hollow breast, or solid breast? I think it's most of the dolls on eBay are solid breasts. I think so. I think so because if the manufacturers make their breasts into hollow breasts or jelly breasts, it costs them extra labor. You understand? They have to put in extra labor to make it like that. So it's gonna cost them more money. You understand? Yeah. So the dolls on the dolls on eBay are extremely cheap dolls. I don't think they can afford it to sell you such a cheap doll with hollow breasts. So my suggestion is, you go to eBay, right? You ask you before you buy the doll. You always ask, what's the breast? Is it jelly breast or solid or hollow, right? And then they will reply to you. They will say it's solid. If they say it's a jelly breast or hollow, you have to say, hey, I'll buy your doll, but if it comes to me and if it's not hollow or if it's not jelly, it's solid, I'll refund it. You better be careful. I'm gonna refund this doll. You're gonna pay for the return shipping. And then the seller will become very careful. The seller will say, oh, wait. Oh, let me contact the Chinese manufacturers first. Make sure, do not buy solid breasts. Do not buy solid breasts, because when you're having sex with this doll, right, you want to feel the breast, right? If it's solid, it's not fun. Solid breast is not fun. Don't buy solid. Make sure it's hollow. It has to be hollow or jelly breast. I would say hollow is the best. They say, yes, people say jelly is better. It feels better than hollow breast, but you have to remember, if they put gel inside, it's more heavy. You understand? It makes the doll a lot more heavy. So if two breasts they put gel inside, you're talking about like extra 3 pounds or 4 pounds. It's not worth it. Just make it hollow. Just make the doll breast hollow so it's lighter. The doll's lighter. I suggest hollow. It feels almost all the same. Jelly breast and hollow is almost all the same. Jelly breast it feels a little better, but trust me, it's almost all the same. If it reduces 4 or 5 pounds of weight, it's worth it. So always, okay, never buy solid breast dolls. Okay, so always on eBay, you go to eBay, you always ask the seller, what kind of breast do you have? If they say it's solid, then you say, I don't want to buy solid doll. I want you to, custom make it for me in China. And then when you custom make it, might as well just add this heating system inside. Add internal heating system. Make it 110 volts, right? With American plug, and they will charge you extra $400, I think. But it's worth it. You don't want a solid breast, okay? What else is there? Yeah, heat. Also, you have to consider heat. The the dolls are ice cold. The doll's very cold. So if you buy a cold doll, right, the doll's cold, and it's really difficult to heat up the whole doll. Really difficult. You have to put on like heating pads on top of the doll, right? If you're not careful, the heating pad could melt your rubber. You know, sometimes you put the heating pad on the doll and it could melt your rubber, or it creates this rubber, burning rubber smell. It's just, so it's really difficult to, and how do you heat the vagina? How do you heat that shit? How do you heat the pussy? It's, I have a, like, I have this, I use a steam, like a steam cleaner thing. Like, you can shoot steam inside the vagina to heat it up. But it was a lot of hassle. And also heating up the breast is also not easy. Put heating pads on the breast. But then when you're having sex with it, you got to take off the heating pads, right? But then it becomes cold again. It just doesn't feel realistic, with that. So I suggest you contact the seller on eBay, right? And then you tell the seller, I like your doll, but I want to make it hollow breast, and I want you to add internal heating coils inside the body, so you can have sex with a warm doll instead of a cold doll. Usually, a lot of companies in China, they add a heating coil. The plug is right here at the under the armpit of a doll, right? And it's the heating coil is right here, so you could have sex with a warm doll while it's plugged in. So that's what I suggest. Having sex with a cold doll is not fun. It's not that fun. You have to heat it up. You have to put heating pads on it. The heating up the doll is not. It's not that simple. You cannot. You know how the heating blankets. How some people they have heating blankets. Trust me, heating blankets don't work because heating blanket it's the heat is too diversified. It's too diverse. And you cover the doll up with heating blanket. Trust me, 1 hour later you come back, it's still cold. The doll is still cold. So heating blanket don't work. You have to buy heating pads for your hands. These little square heating pads. You put one heating pad on the breast. You put one heating pad on the abdomen, at the belly. But then you still, even if you do that, you cannot heat up the vagina. You have to use another equipment to heat up the vagina. It's a lot of work. So I mean, if you want ultimate experience, you want to, wow, you warm up the doll like it's a real woman, when it feels like a real woman, then the best thing to do is, you know, contact the seller and tell them, I want this doll shipped to me directly from China. What the dolls that you see on eBay that they sell for only $400, those are dolls that are stored inside their factories, inside their warehouse somewhere in the United States. They probably, I checked, most sellers state they have their sex dolls stored somewhere in California. And they have warehouses in California, and they ship the doll to you from California. But then those dolls are not custom. They're not customized. They probably don't have like hollow breasts. None of them have like internal heating system. You tell the seller, hey, I want heaters. I want heating system inside the doll. I want hollow breasts. Ship it to me from China. I'll pay extra shipping. Like that. And okay, number 7 is to avoid expensive dolls. Uh, I know some dolls. For example, if you go to like different websites or doll forum, right now there's this company called Iron Tech Iron Tech Sex Doll. Their dolls are like, you know, their dolls are. I would say the body. They paint the body very well. You understand? It's like somebody took a lot of time to paint put like rubber paint on the body to make it look realistic. To make it look very, very, very much like a real woman. Even the knee, they add a little more shadow on the knee and shit like that. Everything looks nice, and you know, I I would say to avoid that. I don't, because what happened. You have to remember one thing. The doll will eventually lose its color. Because the doll is not a painting. It's not a painting that you hang on the wall, right? The painting will not lose its color, but a doll, you have to use it, right? You touch it all the time. And then if you touch it too much, the paint would come off, right? You touch the doll, the paint would eventually come off. So doesn't matter Like Iron Tech doll, they say, oh well, we put a lot of time painting the body, you know, to add shades, different shades on the body, on the nipple, on this. Yeah, who cares? Because you touch it a few times, the pain will wear off. The pain will eventually wear off, you know? So you want to pay a few $100s just for that? No, it's not worth it. Do not pay a few $100s just for you know shading of the body. No, you just buy the cheapest dolls possible. You know, buy the cheapest one possible. And by the way, when you're having sex with a doll, you don't really care about these little details. You don't care about the knee or the toes. You don't give a shit about that. You're just you're basically just fucking it. You know, you don't give a shit. Oh, well, what your toe look like? Oh, what your ankle look like? You don't give. Nobody gives a shit about that stuff. You know, men don't give a shit about that. So you always buy the cheapest doll possible. You know, you don't fall for these gimmicks. You know, these yeah, gimmicks from like doll forum, especially doll forum, right? What happened is they promote these expensive dolls on doll forum. The doll forum will charge them money. You know, if you want to advertise on doll forum, they will charge you money. You understand? They, for example, like if you have like if you open up a what do you call a bulletin board on doll forum, you have to pay a few $100s every month to the doll forum owner. You know, so of course if you advertise your brand of doll on doll forum, then you can sell more expensive price because doll forum would try to tell people to buy your doll. But I really don't think it's necessary. You just buy a doll from eBay. What's the difference? Not much difference, you know. It's a lot cheaper. You buy the ones from eBay. You either buy the basic doll, which is cold and probably have solid breast, you know, or you give them a few more $100s, like $400 more, custom make it, you know, ship it to you directly from China. Then you got heat. You can fuck a warm doll. You got hollow breasts and everything. It at the end it's only $800. You understand? It's still so much more cheaper than you go through a middleman like Doll Forum or you know try to buy dolls from these individual websites. You know, and I don't recommend people to go to individual websites. You know, if you go to Google and you look for sex dolls and then you see these individual websites and you go in there, they try to sell you a doll for $1,500. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. First of all, just like what I said, do not buy a doll that's too tall because tall dolls, they weigh a lot more. You keep the doll weight at under 75 pounds, you know, and save yourself the money. Anyway, that's all I want to say for today. If you like my video, please subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.